Gresh unleashed. Feel the club go around here, I'm the cactus. Bang, bang, gang, I don't owe you jack. When I'm in the ring, it's just me and my best friends. OC cutting no slack. Hollywood Miz, you can put me on the A-list. Gresh unleashed, better put it on your playlist. Me and my fam be ballin' like the Bruce. Fight night, baby, hard hitting like Sheamus. Family first, yes, bloodline business. Winning all the gold, look at how they witness. I was taught to be the greatest. 1,000 days I'm running, check out the book of Guinness. Coolin' with the baddies in the baddie section. Guarantee you they ain't jaded. Heal you baby face, I ain't feeling your gimmick. The fans think it's overrated. I bet you thought you the EST, but homie, you don't even really go here. I'm better than you and you know it. Scumbag, baby, I'ma make that clear. Making many moves while I'm headed on the flight. I'm the mega star, baby, on these LA nights. Putting on 5-star classics, contract year, cause today is a whole new price. Brock Lesnar on the beast. Eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. Whole new swag with a price on the tag. Coming live from the west to the east. Better recognize on the mouthpiece. See the power level gotta increase. Bringing content on a daily. Feeling like Gresh unleashed.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binary pals, baby mamas, baby daddies, and everybody in between. Welcome back to the Gresh Unleashed podcast. This is episode 103 of the show that brings you the good vibes to the best of our abilities. Joining you as always is the voice that does the most, the purveyor of mischief, Gresh. And joining me, returning to the show for the very first time in a long time, but he is none other, representing marks with mics. He is Mr. 6'7" tall, but I think he's lying because I feel like he's a little bit taller than that. But nevertheless, he is none other than JT. What's good with your partner? What's up with your brother?
You already know, laying in the cut like a Band-Aid per usual. It's your boy, Mr. 6'9", grew 2 inches last year with a grind. So with that being said, aka your mama work friend is here in the building. Let's do it. You know what your mama work friend really is, but
that's the work husband. You already know. Like when you hear work friend, you already know you're gonna see him on Thanksgiving, Christmas. You got 2 presents. You got one for her main husband and her work husband. You already know how that goes. Like I've been gifted a couple of presents as your mama's work friend. So
listen,
I said too much.
To all my other kids out there, I got you on the V-Bucks, all right?
Hey.
Birthday and Christmas.
But nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys have been enjoying yourselves thus far. The holidays are long gone, but it's cold as shit outside. Like it's literally the temperature's dropping left and right. It is getting so bad, but it's also so good if this is your time of year that you enjoy the cold. I don't enjoy the cold because I ain't gonna hold you. Even though I was born during the fall, I hate the winter. It's just, that's not my cup of tea.
Facts.
But what is a cup of tea is wrestling. A lot of y'all a lot of y'all who are tuned in right now, y'all love wrestling. Y'all love the pomp and circumstances of whether it's WWE on Netflix, USA, the CW. So many, they got so many networks going on. Or if you are rocking with AEW, all 5 of you, I'm joking before you guys come for me. Or if you are rocking with other companies, or even if you're rocking with TNA Wrestling, they've been up and down every year. I feel like this is a renewed circumstance every year because one thing that is a constant: death, taxes, and everybody saying TNA is back after the first pay-per-view of the year. Every time.
Mm-hmm.
They said that last year with Hard to Kill. They had a wave for about 3 months and then they fell off. And now I'm seeing that same pattern again this year, mainly because of TNA Genesis and what happened. Did you peep it this weekend?
Man, listen, I was tuned in. Shout out to the person that sent me the link. But yeah, I was tuned in, man. TNA Genesis, them boys put on. They put on for the city.
What was your favorite? Because I watched it live. I have TNA Plus. I think I have the bundle to where I can get the pay-per-view as well. I pay for it for the year because it's cheaper that way. You don't have to worry about no monthly reoccurrence. But what was your high and what was your low of the show?
So my high point was the fans giving it to Tessa Blanchard. My guy. To the person that started "She's a Racist" chant, you are the real MVP. Thank you.
Bruh, to get a she is racist chant in the mecca of racism, Dallas, Texas. It says a lot.
That says a lot. Hey, keep that same energy for Hogan if he pop his ass out on Saturday.
Oh yeah, because they will be in San Antonio, and that's right next door to the mecca of racism. So I've lived in Dallas about 6 months in 2019. So I already know what it's like out there. I got a little sample of what it's like out there. I ain't get the full course meal. I didn't stay down there long enough, but I got the full course meal. But definitely, and it's like, can I? And it's like every time I see Tessa Russell, I'll be like, damn, you're good at what you do.
Yeah, she's good, but she's a fucking racist, bro. It's like you kind of hate the like her inside the rain. Like it's kind of like listening to a rapper that you don't really fuck with, but goddamn, this motherfucker can be spitting. like damn, man, I can't even fuck with him, but that motherfucker said something on that one.
Yeah, I'm sitting there watching it, like, cause I watched it from. I didn't watch the countdown. Like I don't. I think I just don't have the bandwidth to watch countdown shows because I'm like, I already know what's gonna happen. But I watched it from the top to the bottom. I saw Muth versus Ace Austin.
That was dope.
That was a dope opener. And I was like, I just did it like a live reaction thread, and I was just talking shit. Like if people, shout out to the people who assume that I'm Jonathan Gresham still in 2025.
Wow.
Like, okay, I'm a few inches taller, like a couple of inches, and I have hair, so you can't really. And my name says Joshua, but nevertheless, I enjoyed myself watching the show. But when we got to Jordynne Grace versus Tessa Blanchard,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is two things. Jordynne Grace is one of, if not one of the top best wrestlers on the planet right now. You notice I didn't put gender with it because she can go with the men as well.
Yeah, she can hang.
So I'm like, yo, I'm watching this, and the way that she was fluid in there, the chemistry that Tessa and Jordynne have is top notch.
Mm-hmm.
I did not take my eye off the match the entire time. But then the chance happened. And I'm like, God damn it, you kind of asked for this. You asked for this. It's like there's nothing you could do because is this the type of heat that I know for those who don't know what that term is, heat is basically is the wrestler term of like whether you're getting booed. Is this the type of heat that TNA wants? And I was sitting on this for the past. That happened Sunday. I was just sitting on this for the past 2 days. I'm like, is this the type of heat that TNA wants dealing with Tessa Blanchard? Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah. I mean, shit. You re-signed her, you booked her on your weekly television show, and you gave her a pay-per-view match. So, yeah, this is the heat that you want. But Eric Bischoff once said, "Controversy creates
cash.
And unfortunately for TNA, she is going to be a distraction. But at the same time, people are going to tune in just to see what the crowd is going to chant next, just to see how much heat she's going to get. Is she going to get that Dominic Mysterio heat where every time she picks up a mic, she's booed off the microphone? People going to tune into that because people love crash outs.
Yeah.
They do. You scroll on your TikTok, I guarantee you, out of 5 videos, one of the videos is going to be somebody crashing out.
Yeah. And shout out to the homie of the show, Nikki. She rocks with Tessa because they're like that's her girl. And I'm like, and I be telling all the time, like, hey, you know they gonna be booing the hell out of her. And she like, bring it. I'm like, hey man, and the reason why I brought her up is because I love it. I love the fact that it's like there's two sides of the coin. You're gonna have people who do not fuck with Tessa, but you're gonna still have a small margin that still fuck with her. So it's like and I put this prediction, and I'm still laughing at it. Like a couple of weeks ago, I put the prediction out on the on Public Enemies podcast. Make sure you guys tune in every Thursday,
Yes,
7
sir.
p.m. I put it out. I was like, I would not be surprised if Tessa keeps her head down and out of bullshit. She would definitely be on WWE TV at some point.
I can see it.
Like,
I
I'm just
mean,
being real.
they bought Hulk Hogan back with all the bullshit that come along with his name.
Facts. I'm like, wait a minute, yo, this is facts. This is facts. And and speaking of WWE, they've officially announced, even though they've been dating for a while, they've been in courtship for about over a year. They made it official. WWE and TNA is officially in bed with each other. They are apart. They are now in partnership. How do we see that? How we feel? Like, do we feel like this is gonna stick with NXT, or you feel like it's gonna go above, and we're gonna see some like AJ Styles crossover or something like that, like some main roster people?
So, you know, they've been fucking for a while. They've been hunching. People know this. To go ahead and put out the, and for those who don't understand hunching, that's a southern term. But yeah, they've been hunching for a while, and they finally put it out there. We already knew y'all been hunching for a minute, but I do think that this partnership could be very good for TNA and WWE as well. I don't think it just sticks to NXT. I think it is going to be a mainly NXT thing, but I would not be surprised if we start seeing some TNA stars on the main roster, seeing the Joe Hendry. Shout out to the homie Cheech. Cheech believes that Joe Hendry is going to show up at the Rumble. The same thing with Dallas Cash. Shout out to Dallas. He believes the same thing. Joe Hendry showing up at the Rumble with the TNA Heavyweight Championship. Never been done. We've had the Knockouts Championship show up, but we haven't had that TNA Championship show up. I believe that WWE is probably going to take some people like a Muth, and I had to do with the list, but I believe we'll see Muths cross paths in the NXT, possibly a main roster run. Characters like Rosemary, she's already been on NXT.
Mm-hmm.
I think her character is definitely main roster. I mean, I can see her feuding with Nikki Cross or feuding with any other girls on the roster. So, you know, the possibilities are endless. I definitely want to see some tag team wrestling. Maybe we get the Hardys on the main roster because of this deal. Like, that'd be dope too. So, endless possibilities. Great partnership. We just got to see what happens out of this. I mean, yeah, y'all been hunching. Now let's produce something.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's reproduce some magic. You know, gotta bust some back some. No, let me chill. No,
Wanting and wanting and wanting.
But yeah, I definitely see some magic happening. Like, I would not be against, like, if whenever AJ recovers, 'cause I know he said his recovery has been challenging, but if he does recover before the year is up, I would definitely not be against him like popping up at a Slammiversary for like a one final match against somebody, like, because that's like their anniversary thing. If it's not Slammiversary, like Bound for Glory, something like that. Like, because this partnership is multi-year, so it's definitely not going to be like a one and
5
done.
years.
It's like 5 years, yeah. So it's like it's going to be if it doesn't happen this year, it's definitely going to happen within at some point. Like, if AJ heals up and it would be apropos if he starts his retirement tour at Bound for Glory.
Ooh, you just did something right there, bro. You just listen. If I'm tuned into TNA Bound for Glory and I hear "Get ready to fly," listen, I'm putting on my hoodie and everything, my nigga. I'm putting the hoodie on like this, and I'm throwing that bitch back. Pause, pause, and I'm throwing it back. But listen, that right there, that would send the wrestling world in a frenzy. AJ Styles back in TNA, and I'll do even one better. Give me AJ Styles versus AJ Francis. Who really is the best AJ in TNA?
Big AJ or little AJ? And before anybody know, Big AJ is AJ Styles, according to Big AJ Francis. So, it's so many. And speaking of AJ Francis, did you? This will be, I guess, a good time to bring up the TNA Digital Media Championship. Did you see what happened with PCO?
Yeah. Once again, we love crash outs in PCO. Crash the fuck out. And what better place to do it in than GCW?
I saw that shit. I was like, wait, is this for real?
I've been with TNA for the past blah 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 blah. Nigga took the sledgehammer with the battle, whatever it was, and with the slamming it on the titles, like, hey, yo. Like, I know those titles cost some money, and I'm not sure if this is an angle or if he was shooting, but if he was shooting, listen, I'm here for it. If it's an angle, I'm still here for it, but I really want the shoot side of it.
I feel like it's a shoot because this man went on on a Twitter rant between yesterday and today. Said something, and he even mentioned AEW. Said he turned down AEW 3 times in 2018, and I'm like, my brother in Christ, AEW wasn't around in 2018. what are we doing?
Boy got Hulk Hogan stories, don't he? Next thing, you know, PCO gonna tell me that it needs to play the bass for Master P. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, PCO, get the year right. And if you don't know the reference, go check out Ricky Smiley's comedy special, Casket Shark.
Oh my God, like, bro, I saw, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck. We unleashed here. Ain't nobody moving for no PCO anything. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, I'm not out here clamoring to see PCO. Like, I've seen this. I saw this man wrestle. I've seen this man wrestle a couple of times. I'm like, bro, you are moving slower than a snail. You're moving slower than Gary on SpongeBob. Like, we are not clamoring for another PCO, because I ain't gonna hold you. We're not gonna see PCO in AEW. We're not gonna see PCO in WWE. Like, no one is Tony Khan will have to be desperate if he want to sign PCO in 2025.
Listen, don't say it too much. You know, you say it 3 times, that motherfucker do it.
Yeah, this is true.
Motherfucker signed the pizza dude at one point. He had like a three or 4 show appearance. The fucking pizza guy.
Oh yeah, what was the nigga name? Pizza something?
Pizza Sutton, see, but he signed him.
He signed him for like he gave him a payday, a quick payday, and then we ain't heard from him since.
No, but you right. I mean, I don't go to the crib and be like, hey, put on that PCO real quick, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it kind of depends on who. Like, if he's facing somebody that I fuck with, that's totally different. But right. I'm not going out the way. Hey, go put on that PCO versus Abyss match. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I kind of fuck with Abyss too, but you get my drift. Like, I'm not.
Don't put on that PC. Go put on that PCO versus Ryan Nemeth match.
Yeah, like I'm not really looking for a PCO match. But I'd rather see PCO at this stage in his career helping the talent, because the last thing I need you to do is some crazy shit, and next thing you know, you up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I don't want.
But listen, man, it's like, I understand he's frustrated. I don't know the situation, because I think I saw some in the same thread that he was like, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the release of Scott D'Amore. So, because I feel like Scott D'Amore kept that place intact, because he said creative production, everybody's cool, but management is where he's like, eh. So that's why I'm like, it's probably more to it, but definitely it's like, on one hand, I understand the releasing and the anger. On the other hand, it's like, bro, you kind of outside of GCW, you kind of burnt the bridge with with the only company that would give you a legit chance.
And then on top of that, you do this at the time of a 5-year partnership. Like, I don't know, maybe he was mad that WWE is in bed with TNA now. You know, things didn't end up too well from over there. But you know, that's, to me, that's this the wrong time to be complaining. Like, come on, everybody got that management at their job that they don't necessarily like. That's just life. You just got to deal with that shit.
Yeah, or except get ready for the consequences of them just not booking you for a while. Like that's kind of like me. Like I'm pretty sure there's some clients that probably don't want to fuck with me, which I doubt. But that's just verbatim. And it's like, if they don't want to book me, they don't want to book me. Like, you just got to roll with the punches. But other than that, TNA Genesis like definitely was a fun show, especially with my case, because people think I'm joking for engagement on social media, but I legitimately have this period where I don't watch TNA weekly TV. So if I do stumble across a pay-per-view, I'm going in as blind as possible. And I feel like that's the best time to watch wrestling sometimes. Just go in blind. You don't know what the hell's going on, because it's your genuine reaction of what's going on. Because by the time after the Tessa and Jordynne Grace match, I believe, what else happened after that? Because there was a couple of
You had Santana going up
oh
against Josh
yeah,
Alexander. That was
bro,
a banger.
that was, yo, I was like, I think I legit put out, I said, I don't know what they beefing about, but Santana looks like the type of guy that's on site. So
Yeah, definitely on
I-
site.
so I already know this is gonna be a banger. And bro, I love the fact that Santana left AEW and bet on himself and is thriving right now
Man,
in all the best ways possible. Because I've always felt like I feel like always the best stories in wrestling is when it's somebody you don't expect to go out and show out. Case in point, Drew McIntyre, when he was released the first time, a lot of people didn't expect him to go out and reinvigorate himself. When he became Drew Galloway on the Indies, TNA, et cetera, DP, what was it? What Culture Pro Wrestling, all those companies, came back to WWE, became one of the top dogs. Cody Rhodes. So many stories where they go out and bet on themselves and thrive. I feel like Santana is definitely going to be one of those guys that's going to thrive. Like, whether it's with TNA in the next couple of months, couple of years, or if he does make that leap and go to WWE, it would definitely be, he's definitely somebody to keep your eye on. Like, this I Quit match is definitely up there, one of my favorite TNA I Quit matches, because I've seen quite a lot. Like, I've seen what was one? I think it was AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels. Didn't they have an I Quit match in TNA at one point?
yeah, they have one. Mick Foley had an I Quit match. Yeah, this to me is up there. Santana as a single star. This is something that I could tell you offhand, just seeing him wrestle live. This man has all the ingredients to become that guy, right? Like you, I think a platform that will elevate him. You know, hate to be that guy, but WWE would definitely elevate him and use him the right way, because you've seen what they've done with people who have came in there, and not just tag team stars, but people that were singles. Look at a Damian Priest, aka Punishment Martinez, right? Former WWE heavyweight champion, and might I add, had a pretty decent run. You look at people right now like a Ethan Page, who was really lost in the shuffle inside of AEW, and here he is, he's thriving. You can also go on and on with the other names that's joined in this past year or so, and seeing what they've been able to do with them as a talent. So I think a Mike Santana could be a TNA heavyweight champion. He could be the face of the company.
Yeah. And that was the story that they was going for with this particular match as well. Because if people who've been paying attention, Josh Alexander has practically been the face of TNA wrestling
Yeah.
for when it was Impact Wrestling back in, I think it was during the pandemic. Like, I feel like he took the ball and went with it during the height of the pandemic when when everybody was leaving. He gave him the ball and he ran with it as Impact TNA World Champion. And then when they renamed as TNA, they basically continued to give him the ball. Like, he had that incredible match on Impact with Will Ospreay before Ospreay went to AEW, and so many other matches. And then they obviously did the heel turn, where a lot of people was like, what are we doing here? But then he took that ball and he kept going with it. And this was a nice passing of the torch of the current era of TNA. And I feel like if all the stars align and they play their cards right, this will be worth where we look back at, okay, this is where Santana was made. And this definitely made, because he did not quit. They did so many things. Like, the man basically brushed off the C4 double hook pile driver that a lot of people would not kick out of. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, shout out to Tom and Matt on commentary. Like, that is a highly underrated commentary duo that I feel
Yeah.
like for those who just to jog some people's memory, they started in 205 Live when that was a thing. Like, they just was thrown together, and then the stars aligned, and they're here in TNA, and they've been calling incredible moments, incredible matches all year, last year, and even to this year. And that's what I'm saying. I still stand 10 toes down that I feel like WWE should not have released Tom at all when he was Tom Phillips. So, but that's their loss is TNA's gain. So,
Yeah.
because he's
It's
one of
great.
the best. So they call this match. They added to this match. So if you have not seen Josh Alexander versus Santana in the I Quit match from TNA Genesis 2025, definitely check that out for sure. And then after this, we mentioned Jeff Hardy. We saw the Hardy Boys versus the Rascals for the TNA Tag Team Championships, and with an appearance from NXT's Fraxium, Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Incredible tag team match. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the second half of Genesis was definitely a banger, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely picked up like the first half was solid. That second half, post Grace Blanchard, they just went into next gear.
Man, overdrive, because even the way they opened it up with TNA, and then having the tag team match, which shout out to Eric Young and Steve Macklin, man. Like, them boys were like a well-oiled machine last night. I'm like, how long these niggas been tagging? Did I miss something?
That's what I said too. I was like, wait, when this happen? Like, I was like, wait, I missed a chapter. Like, when did this become a team? My first question was like, when did Macklin become a babyface?
Mm-hmm.
So that's was like, I missed a lot, but I actually did have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. That match was fun. Um, Moose going up against Ace Austin was a fun one. And then seeing, I think it was the one that kind of like, the TNA Knockout Tag Team titles.
Yeah,
Spitfire versus Ash by Elegance, because both of them are by Elegance now.
it was Ash and Heather by
Yeah,
Elegance.
Ash and Heather by Elegance. Her intro is kind of dope. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, that nigga came out there with the white suit on and put out the intro and everything. And people like to give Dana Brooke, Ash by Elegance, a lot of heat, but she has improved. She's improved. She looked pretty good doing this match. It wasn't the best, but coming from where she came from, and we've all sat through some of them bad matches, this was actually pretty good for her.
We've sat through a lot. I think I said that too. I said one thing Ash is gonna do. She gonna take a bump. Like she was eating up those snap suplexes, those half and halves. I was like, girl, you getting dropped on your head, and you are right back up like nothing happened. Like kudos to you. And speaking of getting dropped on their head, Jeff Hardy has been he's been showing some promise. We talked about him briefly last week, and we're gonna talk about him some more here. Like I said, I the Hardy Boys definitely got the biggest pop of the night at TNA Genesis,
hands down.
And I've come on record, I've come on these shows and said, "Yo, it might be time for the Hardys to hang it up," and I still kind of stand on that. Like it's Father Time is gonna catch up to you at some point, and it's been catching up to him. If within the next year and a half, 2 years, if Jeff Hardy, because he's been going on press conferences and press tours and all that stuff, basically with a bucket list. He wants to face this person, face this person. Jeff Hardy mentioned that he wants to face Roman Reigns before he retires. How do we feel about this? Because I feel like wasn't he supposed to be penciled in to face him, but then he left?
Listen, Jeff, not gonna say it's too late because anything can happen, but I'm not against it, because one thing Roman Reigns will do is he's going to have a great match with everybody that he steps in the ring with. Everybody. I mean, we seen the match he had with Logan Paul, who is green. Let's just keep it a buck. And you put him in a ring with someone like a Jeff Hardy, who is well experienced, well tuned, knows how to be a great dancing partner. We will be in store for a great match, and I would love to see it happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but give me Jeff Hardy. Matter of fact, give me Brother Nero versus the Tribal Chief.
I mean, with them doing the cinematic promos, it could definitely, like, they can definitely build something there to where Jeff like taps into his personas, if you will, to kind of topple the Tribal Chief. Like, it's so many ways they go. It's wrestling. Like, let's have some fun with it. But I brought that up because the match itself was the tag team match was pretty fun. But I wanted to get our thoughts on that. But yeah, Jeff Hardy versus Roman Reigns. He had the opportunity. He left. If they do run it back with this, especially with this partnership, they can easily throw something in at some point. But that's just us fantasy booking at this point, because we don't know. It could just be NXT and TNA this entire time. But I definitely see it opening the door for something more in the future. And speaking of the future, we got Axiom and Frazier versus the Rascals this Thursday for the live edition of Impact, because they're going live for the first time, I believe since 2013. I could be mistaken.
It's been a minute. Could be. I think it's 2013, because I know they went live after the Hogan era at least once. But I'm with it. Give it to me. Fraxium, the Rascals, which they are owed the tag team title match. So why not do it on TNA's platform? And I even say this: have Fraxium drop the titles. And if they do drop the titles, get the Hardys involved into it. And this is how we get the Hardys back inside WWE. This is how we bring them back home.
Mm-hmm. So they definitely did pose off with champions on social media. So I definitely can see that. Like this was saying, there's so many possibilities with this NXT TNA partnership. Like I am going to be glued to the TV to very much pay attention to it. Last thing from Genesis is we have a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion in the one, the only Joe Hendry. I am not going to play his music because I'm not trying to get copyrighted. But yeah, Joe Hendry finally defeated Nick Nemeth or Nick Ziggler. If you watched last week's show, you know. For the TNA World Championship after a solid main event. I wouldn't say it was the best main event, in my opinion. It was definitely solid. Nick did his thing and Joe did his thing. And you also had the appearance of John Layfield, JBL, and Kazarian attempting to cash in his Call Your Shot trophy. But JBL said, yeah, we're not doing that. Took his head off with a lariat or a clothesline from hell. Because I don't even say clothesline from hell because that man don't even run with it no more. It's just a ripcord clothesline from hell.
Mm-hmm.
So, but how we feeling about this? Like I've seen, I pay attention to social media. I've seen the mixed response, like anything else. Do we feel like this is about damn time, or is it LOL TNA because they like, instead of striking when the iron is hot, they like to strike when the iron cools off a little bit?
So the iron did cool off a little bit, but I think this is the right call because once again, his story, Joe Hendry's story that we're talking about, it can be continued on with so many people that he's faced in the past to even get to here. There's Kazarian. He could be feuding with him. He still has that trophy out there. Or he can run it back with AJ Francis. Them motherfuckers been fighting all year at every promotion. So, you know, my personal feeling is Joe Hendry is the right call right now. Joe Hendry winning this championship is definitely going to help bring eyes to the product, but also who he feuds with after this is going to make this championship reign either a solid ground, or it's going to be a bust. And I think if they book it right, if they book him right going forward as champion, whether it's a 1 month run, 3 month run, because he has not re-signed a TNA contract.
Yeah.
So he's up. So we could see a Kazarian, or we could see a AJ Francis.
Do you feel, this is just me throwing it out here, do you feel like they would have him cash in on this live Impact? Give him a Christian 2011 title reign?
So if I'm TNA, if I want the shock factor, yes. But honestly, I don't think they're gonna do it. I think he gonna get out there, get ready to do his acceptance speech, and then we gonna get some people interrupting him, and he's gonna attempt to cash in, but I don't think it's gonna be successful.
Gotcha. The reason I say that because I was like, I probably still have a little PTSD from the Dixie Carter era, so a lot of decisions would not go past me. So if like, I can definitely see that happening, but at the same time, I, like you, would definitely be against it because I feel like they should definitely ride the wave of him being the champion at least until the Rumble. Like, you have 2 weeks, and then if you want to take the title from him afterwards, that's your call. But definitely, if they play their cards right, they should definitely have him have that title at least until after the Rumble, and then go for it. Like, if I'm booking it, I definitely would. I wouldn't give him like a year-long title reign. I would give him like at least until, once their next pay-per-view, Rebellion. I would definitely have him keep it until Rebellion, and then
I'm with it.
Because it's like when you're a babyface, it's always in the chase. And then you don't want to go too long and then run into a situation where people just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, congratulations to Joe Hendry on becoming the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. TNA Genesis was definitely a fun show, especially if you were watching it in passing, or if you was just chilling, or if you went over because NXT announced the partnership and was plugging it. Like you saw, because you saw Core J come through. We forgot to talk about Masha Slamovich and Rosemary. Like that was those ladies right there. You saw the appearance of Janice. You saw like what was it? I forgot. I don't know what Masha's finish is, but she hit that through a whole bunch of chairs that was stand up and propped up. Like
That match was crazy.
Man,
Trying to tell you, man, like TNA got some dope individuals on their roster. And shout out to Darrell from Powerbomb Jitsu. He's a TNA avid fan. Like he will go on the hilltop and die about this shit. Like kind of like they said, I die about this shit.
I for this shit too.
I die for this shit too. But TNA does have the right pieces on the roster, especially with a Masha Slamovich and a Rosemary. The whole thing with this partnership is now giving them that exposure to the rest of the world, because Anthem ain't cutting it as a TV station far as giving them that exposure. I'm just gonna keep it 100. Even when I had cable, I had to pay extra to get Anthem and a whole bunch of other stations that I wasn't even gonna watch. Like, but then there's also the TNA app that you can watch it from, but you need that TV exposure right now for TNA. And I don't know what they're gonna do with their next TV deal, if they're gonna stay on Anthem or not. But if it's my money, and we got this partnership going, slide the motherfuckers on USA Network
or Peacock. Like I would do like
Peacock,
a joint partnership. Like, hey, let's sign this contract. We got this independent contract, independent company. You want to give them a year test run to see how they do, and then if they do numbers, you want to keep them long term. Like that's how I would pitch it to a network that I have access to. I'll be like, hey, and they come with access to a video archive.
already.
Like, like you want to take a look, but nevertheless, the partnership, all this stuff, TNA, NXT is going to be something that we're definitely going to keep our eyes on and really pay attention to across both Marks with Mikes here on the Gresh Unleashed podcast, as well as Public Enemies podcast. We will definitely keep you guys tuned in and locked in when it comes to that partnership and everything that happens going forward. Speaking of partnerships, I guess we can creep over to SmackDown. What do we think is next for Solo Sikoa after Tribal comeback? Because he said nothing on SmackDown.
Yeah, he pulled a Drake. Basically, after the beef, how he didn't say shit. So your best bet right now, Solo, is to hop back in the studio and drop a diss track at this point, because you literally got booed out the building and your ass left. But Solo did say if Roman Reigns won the match, he would bow down, he would submit, he would acknowledge Roman Reigns as a tribal chief. So I don't know if Solo goes back in the fold, but if it's me, I can't trust you. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't took the Ula Fala, or as Ilfam would say, the Lala Fala, you done got the necklace or whatever. You done sent these hitters to take us out. How can I really trust you at this point? So Solo may have to just be Solo, because Jacob Fatu definitely showed that he ain't no hope. Jacob Fatu ready. He bought that.
He said, "I ain't crazy. You think I'm crazy?
This
You
just
think
beginning.
You think I'm insane? I ain't crazy. I'm just getting started." And I'm like, that is fucking terrifying.
Trying to tell you, man, that's some scary shit. Like they said on the other professor, like that's some scary. Listen, a motivated Jacob Fatu, a motivated one, not a Jacob Fatu who was serving. not a Jacob Fatu that was serving as basically the hitman for the Bloodline 2.0, a motivated Jacob Fatu to go after his own shit. Man, listen. I hope y'all got insurance, SmackDown. I hope y'all got insurance. And y'all about to pay a deductible fucking around with Jacob Fatu.
Y'all about to get y'all insurance canceled. Cause he's like, yeah, he a little expensive right now. Like we can't afford him.
Price of the brick just went up.
Facts. But nah, Jacob Fatu is like when I like, man, this man is. I'm ready. Like, what do they do with Tama Tonga? Do he become like? Because that's been the question a lot of people have been asking. Do Jacob Fatu take over as the rogue of the bloodline? Like, do he take over and then Tama follow suit, and then Solo either gets betrayed or he follows Jacob? But like, I feel like Jacob's gonna be like, "Yo, no, I got this now."
Jacob is definitely, if anybody was next in line, it's Jacob. And even if he wasn't next in line, it's Jacob. That's the person that you see. I don't know if y'all was like me who went to public school and you had to go through the lunch line. You had that line or whatever, and you always had that big motherfucker who came through that cut everybody in line, i.e. me. You just move the fuck out the way. Yeah. He's the one. And far as Tamatonga, like I think what's gonna happen with him is we're gonna wait for Tungaloa to get healed up, and then we'll get God as a tag team feuding with other tag teams.
The Usos.
Yeah. That's the ticket. That's the match that people wanted for years. Why not make it happen this year?
Yeah. So like whenever Tonga is healed up, because what was it? Bicep surgery. So,
yeah.
And that was in November. So I don't know. The estimate was at 6 to 9 months, give or take.
Somewhere around that, especially when you tear a bicep. So 6 to 9 months. Yeah, we looking at possibly like a SummerSlam for that match.
Yeah, if all goes well, because everybody's body is different. Mm-hmm. So if hopefully all goes well, but yeah, Jacob is definitely somebody we're gonna be really. I'm gonna be glued to every freaking Friday. And do we think that this bloodline story gonna field into Monday? Because I believe they're going to be in Atlanta and Roman's gonna be there. So,
oh yeah. I mean, one thing like about the bloodline storyline, it's like soap operas back in the day. As the world turned, Young and the Restless, them motherfuckers are still on to this day. This bloodline storyline ain't never gonna stop because it's birthed too many spinoffs to not have it continue. Too many spinoffs have been birthed from this storyline. You look at a Kevin Owens, you look at a Drew McIntyre, you look at a CM Punk, you look at a Seth Rollins. All these, Sami Zayn, all these people are tied in to the bloodline. When you look at the tag team division, tied into the bloodline on SmackDown. Everything is tied in some way, somehow. It's all about the circle of life, and life starts with the bloodline.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I remember who you are, Simba. Speaking of storylines, we got Who Attacked Jade still going on. Bianca Belair and Naomi retained their tag team titles against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae.
Man,
how do we feel like this is going? Because I feel like they're dragging this at this point.
So they're dragging it, but in a sense, I get what they're doing. Anticipation, the surprise, the reveal. Like I get it. People want to be drug along for a certain amount of time. And what better way to do it with the whodunit storyline? I already told everyone know my personal opinion. I think it was Charlotte Flair. But
I'm in that boat too. I was like, if it's not Naomi, I definitely see it being Charlotte Flair. That would be a nice way to get her back.
I don't want to pit sisters against each other. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to sit together, especially right around now, man. We got to sit together. And I'm not trying to see these sisters feuding, but a heel Naomi.
I ain't seen that in a while.
I ain't seen that in a minute. Matter of fact, I ain't seen that since she had that stable with her and Sasha Banks and Tamina.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a minute. Back in the day when they had the Street Profits theme music.
Oh yeah,
So
the 2015.
yep. So I'm gunning for Charlotte, but on the low end, Naomi.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I think the reason why I was saying I feel like they're dragging it is because they're treating it as like a passing story and not like a full throttle storyline. But hopefully within the next week or so, especially at the Rumble or after the Rumble, they go full throttle. Like, okay. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Jade comes back during the Rumble match
Ooh.
and just attacks whoever she feels like did it and just throw everybody off.
I think that's the ticket. That's the ticket right there. Have her come back at the Rumble.
And just attack whoever did it and reveal it that way.
Reveal it that way, come SmackDown, she grabbed the microphone and she talked her shit.
Mm-hmm. So I'm all for it. And speaking of returns, and you mentioned Charlotte Flair, we finally got the promo package of Charlotte Flair. So
Grisella Blanco over here, man. She out here dressed like a queen pin. She got the A1 Bradico. What price of the bread? Listen, I'm trying to tell you, she plugged in because Charlotte ain't never looked like this. She plugged in. She moving weight. I don't care nobody say. Got the mink on, eyelashes on point. got the hair on point. Yeah, Andrade done changed this woman whole life, her whole lifestyle. Right now, currently on Tuesday, she's at the house making fajitas. Fajitas with black beans and Spanish rice. I'm trying to tell you, this woman is speaking fluent Spanish. You cannot tell me that she is not moving weight based off of how she was dressed. And there was a picture from Tuesday on NXT with her with Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend.
man,
I thought she was Hispanic. I ain't gonna hold you, though. I was like, damn, who the little Spanish mommy they done got? Oh, that's Charlotte. That's Charlotte. Her first word on her promo gonna be "Buenos dias." Okay?
Buenos dias, hola. Ese, it has been a year. It's been over a year.
She may come back with an Eddie Guerrero accent.
El Queen is back. La Reina is back. La Reina is back. Sorry.
Call me the La Reina. Don't even call me Charlotte no more.
La Reina. Let's do it. I'm coming back for number 17. Because they still trying to lie to me and say she's a 14-time world champion. She's 16.
She definitely got to be 16 because I vaguely remember at least 15 titles being won, bro.
It's like they trying to pick. They're not trying to acknowledge the NXT title reigns.
They gotta acknowledge that. I mean, they trying to hit us with the neuralizer, as my co-host would say. Cheats trying to hit us with the neuralizer on Man in Black, and y'all don't see none of that. Like, come on, man.
I'm like, come on, man. Like, if you, because I looked at her like her title wins during Wikipedia. I definitely include the Divas title in that. That's a world title to me because that was y'all top women's title for the longest time, and it came to 16. So y'all can stop lying to me about her being 14 times. That is a 16-time world champion. She's going to be 17 before the end of the year. I'm just saying.
Put her in the mid card. Fuck that. Let her win that United States Women's Championship and bring some status quo to it. Not to say that Chelsea Green ain't doing that, but if you want to establish that title, got to have an established veteran as well. You know what I'm saying? That kind of leads the way with any introduction to a title. You kind of need that vet to either be the first in line with it or that next one up, because that vet is going to put that title on the map. the vet is going to give it the recognition. Some people say it's not the title that makes the person, but the person that makes the title. In this case, it's going to be the person that makes the title. Put it on Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because y'all gonna complain about her being world champion again. That's like,
Yeah, she can get a mid card title. Be like her daddy, you know. But her daddy was a former U.S. champion.
yeah, you know she gonna win that title because they're gonna make her like a ultimate Grand Slam or a Triple Crown or something like that because she's never won that title. So, and speaking of titles, we got Tiffany Stratton retain her women's championship against Bailey. This is her title reign is definitely off to a solid start. I'm a little confused with the follow up with her and Nia because I thought the way they were setting up that she was gonna be a babyface, but she's still a heel.
Yeah, Tiffy really ain't changed her character that much. If you really go back and look at it, she pretty much placated to the crowd. That was pretty much it. But she was still a heel. She was still helping jump females and shit. You know, females again jump. She was pulling people's feet when they was running across the rope, like she was doing all the heel shit. So, you know, she's still a heel, but it's unfortunate because it looks like Bay, aka Nia Jax, she's gonna be on Raw. In my mind, we've been together for the past 5 years. Just that's in my mind. My wife know about her. My wife knows about it. She know how I feel. This is my wife, then it's Nia.
Hey, I respect it, but nah, I definitely. This is another person that we're gonna be basically paying attention to see how they go with it. Like we said it a couple of weeks ago. Jermaine, shout out to the homie Jermaine. He basically said it's time to sink or swim, and so far she swim. So we will definitely see. Switching over to Raw before we get to Saturday night's main event. How we feeling 3 weeks in? Like I asked everybody's opinion on Netflix, on the Raw on Netflix. A lot of people wasn't really feeling the first episode, but how we feeling 3 weeks in? Like we liking the wave.
I'm liking it. Of course, the first week that wasn't for us. That was for the casuals, for the people get locked in. But this Raw on Netflix, from the camera work, the angles, even down to the presentation of the matches and how they are doing these matches, I can dig it. I can also dig the surprise ending time. Like we don't know if we're gonna get those full 3 hours. We don't know if it's gonna be 2 hours and 30 or 2 hours and 35 minutes. Like the anticipation, it just keeps you guessing. So it's gonna keep us coming back. But especially these last 2 weeks, I mean, we've only had 3 weeks of it, but man, what a difference a week makes every single week.
I feel like it's a sweet spot. Like 230, 235 is the sweet spot they should keep.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they should keep the 235 because people were struggling when Raw was going those 3 hours. But in this Triple H era, those 3 hours of Raw actually felt great. So as fans, we really don't know what we want. You know what I'm saying? People complain when they took the 3 hours away.
Yeah,
But
I saw that. I was like,
it's like, what the fuck do y'all want? Do y'all want 3 hours or do y'all not want 3 hours? Like Triple H basically packed everything up like fucking Steve Harvey. Like, look, time to get the fuck up out of here. Let's go. 2 hour and 30-minute mark is actually pretty good. It doesn't have us all the way staying up past 11 o'clock just to see the ending. So I think keeping that surprise ending in that sweet spot of 2 hours and 30, they definitely own to something. And we're getting at least over these past 2 weeks, 4 to 5 matches.
oh yeah, and the 4 to 5 matches are given time because I know sitting through 3 hours of Raw, it would be sometimes some matches be too quick to where you can't process it, or sometimes a match would be so long to where you like, well, y'all wrap this shit up. And I feel like right as of for the past 2 weeks, since it's been 2:30, they found a way to make it make sense, and they found a way to rotate people because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people you saw last week wasn't really on there. This week they pretty much either got a promo package or they was mentioned, and that's all you got.
And
So
I think that's a good way to do it.
oh yeah, And then we started off the show with main event Jey Uso being his usual self. Michael Cole continuing to be offbeat like a rhythmless wet paper. I'm like, brother, I respect it. Like I like that Cole is having fun, but at the same time, it's like, brother, I'm gonna need to give you some dance lessons. How are we feeling about Jey Uso going into this? Do we feel like this is another situation where, because I've been seeing another, like I've been seeing a lot of a mixed bag online. Like some people saying they need to finally go ahead and pull the trigger on Jey Uso because he can't keep having these title matches and losing, because after a while people are just not going to give a shit.
So to go ahead and piggyback off what you said, yes, Michael Cole does dance like a 3-year-old baby. Also, Jey Uso, he's hot. He's definitely top 10 in merch, definitely top 10 in crowd engagement. I think that we need to pull the trigger with Jey Uso because what's the worst that can happen? We've seen you pull the trigger before and you gave him the IC title. And yes, it was a short run. I don't mind you doing the same thing with the World Heavyweight Championship. Give us the element of surprise because these long championship runs, they're good in some sense, but we can't have everybody out here doing like 2-year runs and shit. Like, and Gunther he's a credible person to give that to, right? But at the same time, we really need to really establish and create new megastars within the company. And Jey Uso is at the cusp of being that. The only thing that he's missing is heavyweight championship gold and main title gold to be more in tune with what I'm saying. He needs a world title run, whether it be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Get that man a run because he's proven himself. He's selling out the merch. The crowd is going crazy every time that man music hits. Give it to him. And matter of fact, while I'm on it, give Big Jim over there on SmackDown some type of a run where he's feuding for a title, because the Usos carried the company during the pandemic era along with Roman.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and I still, the way they've been booking Braun Breaker, I feel like they still shouldn't have taken the title off of Jey.
Nope.
Because Braun has been relegated to the background, in my opinion. Like, you don't see this man as a prominent fixture. He's still feuding with Sheamus. So, but yeah, definitely, especially after this promo that he cut with Gunther, because people who actually pay attention to Jay's character, he's confident that he can be world champion, but you can still see the doubt in his eyes. And Gunther smells that. He smells the insecurities from Jey.
Kind of like Stank Meaner when he was over there with a granddad, like, yeah, I smell the bitch in you. That's bonafide bitch.
You scared? You was a bitch. You scared? I smell you.
Bitch, Robert. I smell new shoes.
I was watching that episode the other day.
Stank Meaner is, you got to be top 10 worst villain of all time. The fact that nigga pulled up and said, I know nobody in my pocket's about this handicap. It just ran that nigga's
He didn't give a shit about no insurance. He didn't give a shit about no who at fault. Like, I know this nigga ain't in my parking spot. Like, who the fuck is this?
That motherfucker said Stank Meaner didn't give a damn about dolphins or rainbows. When that nigga said that, he hate life. Like, not even a rainbow.
But nah, man. I definitely, like I said what I said. Like, if they want to pull the trigger, pull the trigger. If they don't, they're gonna have to compensate with something, because after a while, some people are going to start be like, why should we give a shit if he's gonna keep losing these title matches?
Dolph Ziggler effect.
Yeah.
Dolph
Like
Ziggler effect to the T.
100%. Like he can be as over as he want to be. He can do the yeeting and the selling of the merch, but if you keep building up to where he's going for that world title, they're going to have to tell that story of he feels like he's good enough, but he's just not good enough, and they're going to have to just really make us give a shit when he finally gets that title. But I definitely feel like at some point before the end of the year, he should be world champion.
100%. And I don't know where they do with that, but if I'm betting, and if I'm a betting man, SummerSlam.
Which will be apropos because I believe his first world title match was at SummerSlam in 2023.
In Detroit.
I was there. I was there. So
how long? You was there too?
Yeah.
So how in the hell we didn't run into each other until WrestleMania?
I have no idea.
See the way the universe works?
I have no idea. But speaking of running into each other, we had Penta running into the Bruiserweight. Finger versus Sacrifice.
Cooked.
This was a banger.
They put that sazon on there. Listen, all type of Spanish seasonings. Penta is a fucking star. His presentation, and not only that, they changed the man Pyro within a week span. I will be surprised to see what that shit look like week 3 or week 4 Raw. But Penta's a star, dude. Like you can't deny that. And then hats off to Pete Dunne. Like these are the type of matches I miss seeing him in. Like don't get me wrong, the shit with R-Truth is hilarious, but we need this Pete Dunne, the one that looked like a legitimate threat to Penta during that match. Because honestly, when I was watching it, I didn't know which way it was going to go because Pete Dunne pissed off that everybody calling him a butch. And he could have took that frustrations totally out on Penta, but those guys cooked during this match. I'm like, God damn. And it's not my first time seeing Penta wrestle. I haven't seen this motherfucker wrestle live. So to see this match happen and the way they told the story, especially going back and forth, that Mexican Destroyer is nasty. The whole entire match was literally must see TV. You could not take your eyes from the screen because that's the way them boys was cooking.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's like you, I've seen him because I believe whenever they was in AEW was in Duluth, I believe they had a tag team match for Rampage, one episode of Rampage. So I can definitely see, and honestly, the people who I feel who try to say he was quote unquote washed, I feel like they don't understand when someone's not motivated, they half-ass it.
Yeah.
Like if you like case in point, CM Punk, his final year in WWE, you can tell he was not motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Another case in point, I feel like MJF right now is not motivated.
Nah, he getting that Hollywood money. I wouldn't be motivated either.
So it's like you can tell when someone is not motivated at all, and it's like, okay, they're half-assing right now. But then as soon as he got that first introduction, as well as yesterday, Monday, he's motivated.
Yeah, he's definitely motivated. I mean, if y'all don't understand the term half-assing, just go back into your memory bank and think about that one person that you hit that you didn't really want to hit, and you was just there, and you was just half-assing it. Ladies, I think ladies can speak more to this because they are notorious for the half-assing. But yeah, think of it like this. I mean, that man put it in that full stride. He put it in that work. He gonna make sure that you call him back, type shit. Pause. But but he put in that work. No boys putting in work. So you can look at the motivation, the move. Even down to the way he's walking down to the ring, he got a little pep in his step.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of walks like Steve Urkel. in the sense when he used to be floating on cloud nine. But that right there, Penta motivation, and I can't wait to the day we get Ray Phoenix released from his contract and we get the Lucha Bros.
Speaking of Ray Phoenix, you saw that shit he posted?
Man, in a straight jacket, like Scott Steiner doing the Slim Jim commercial. Like, listen, I get it, man. I get it. My man locked down, but I seen your post. You say, how long do you think before Tony Khan and the black SUVs make that nigga take that shit down? That shit was down before the end of the night. Within a few hours. Like
that shit was 2 hours. I'm like,
take that shit down, my boy. That motherfucker own you. I own you, big kid. I own you.
I own you. I was like, bro, like for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna pull it up in a second. But like, bro, when I saw that, I was like, bro, this gonna be down within an hour or two. And when I saw that shit, I was like, and when I click back, because I gave it a couple of hours, I'm like, I'm gonna click back, and if it ain't there, then they got to him. Yeah, and that shit was down within 2 hours and some change, and I just cried laughing like the entire time. I was like, bro, there is no way. And he tagged the artist who took the picture and everything. And I'm like,
that shit was cool. It's like, hey, take this picture real quick. Yeah, like this. So you want me to look down in the camera? Well, Brian Daniels said, hey, listen here, bro. You got to take that shit down. You're making us look bad. All right, this is where the best going to wrestle. Don't do that shit. Nigga took that shit down with the quickness. I own you, big kid. I own you.
I own you. You can't. I could never see Tony saying that this is what the best wrestle. So don't post that.
I mean, I get it. You mad right now, and I'll be mad too. Only thing you had to do was just keep that shit on the hush, and unfortunately, it got out, and now you stuck. I mean, you got to ride that wave out. Sometimes you gotta, just gotta ride that shit. Pause. You got to ride the wave. It is what it is.
Now it's unfortunate. Like you got a year where you stuck at home doing nothing, but you collecting a paycheck.
Tough break, nigga.
Yeah.
Workman's comp, nigga.
Workman's comp. But speaking of comp, there's somebody going to need some workman's comp if it don't go his way. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They had that face-to-face, which threw me off initially because I was like, what is happening? But then I immediately picked game what Kevin Owens is doing. Because Sammy's character is fascinating if you actually pay attention. He hates being disrespected. He wants to feel validated being champion. And he has this loyalty complex to where even if you do him wrong, if you show an ounce of remorse, or if he sees a little good in you, he's going to forgive you. He did it with Roman. He did it with KO a couple of times. Like, I like the fact that this man, as soon as KO's music played, he was like, all right, Kevin, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to play dumb. How you want to do this? You want to fight here? You want to fight? You want to go to the parking lot? And Kevin was like, what do you mean? And he's like, bro, I'm not dumb. Like, nigga, I know for a fact that you want to whoop my ass because you did it with Cody, because he teamed with Roman at Bad Blood, and I teamed with him for War Games. Like, let's do it. Like, what you want to do? You want to do it now? You want me to turn my back? And KO basically played to his emotions. He was basically like, yo, if you want to be world champion, win the Royal Rumble. Help me win the world title, the undisputed title. I'll help you win the Royal Rumble, and we can face in the main event at WrestleMania.
All right.
So he basically played every string that is with Sammy's current character right now. His pride, his obsession with becoming world champion, and his undying forgiveness for people who done him wrong. He basically pulled a Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he pulled a Roman Reigns, or in this case, he made Sami Zayn seem like a delusional baby mama that think her baby daddy is gonna be there, even though he don't stay there. He pop his head in every once in a while, you know, pick up the kids, hey little motherfucker, put them down type shit. Like that's Sami Zayn. He's a delusional baby mama at this point, because he is so easily coerced into doing things. Like it doesn't take much, you know. All you got to do is say please, and that motherfucker fold. So Sammy's a pushover. And if you look at the character, people been pushing this motherfucker into lockers his whole tenure on the main roster. They've been stuffing this nigga in the locker like what's the name of, what was it? Lean on Me. Steal from put this motherfucker in the locker and shit. You know the school song, don't you? Like you gotta, like this motherfucker. Like, come on, Sammy, you gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta stand up for yourself. You getting bitch left, right, frontwards, backwards. What's up, World Elite Podcast? But
getting turned every which way but loose. Pause.
Come on now. Yeah, it's giving baby mama energy. Delusional baby mama.
Yeah, so
I love him.
But I like the fact that they did this. They added this layer to both stories, Sammy and KO. Like I like this fact. So, hey man, this is another match where we got to tune into, because I believe KO and Cody are going to sign a contract at Saturday Night's Main Event. So they're going to continue with the story, but for sure this is going to be something we definitely have to pay very, very close attention to when it comes to this, because this I love that there could genuinely be a possibility of a Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens Mania match for the title. Because that's another possibility where they can pull the trigger. So, hey, I'm all down for it. And then speaking of tearing into people and pulling triggers, CM Punk out here taking shots at Hulk Hogan.
A real one. Fix that nigga a plate at the next cookout.
Listen, one thing CM Punk's going to do, he's going to make you regret ever pissing him the fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
But how we feeling about like, you got any additional thoughts with this promo? Because I don't say everything I need to say about this. Like it's fuck that nigga.
Yeah, CM Punk did the world a favor, and he did it on inauguration night.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Not that I watched the inauguration, because I had other shit to do. But for him to cut this promo on inauguration night on Martin Luther King Day, yo, give this man a wing at the NAACP, okay? CM Punk put on for the city. That motherfucker said, even if Hulk Hogan want to bring his dusty ass out there, and he really wanted to say racist ass out there, but even if Hulk Hogan wanted to bring his dusty ass out there, I would toss this man over the top rope and kill Hulkamania once to fall. I'm with it.
You can tell that shit wasn't not planned, because Jackie corpsed like a motherfucker.
Yes, he said that. He said that shit with his whole chest.
The entire chest. And it's like I'm here for it. So hey, I can appreciate that. And last tidbit from Raw, we had Seth Rollins defeat Drew McIntyre, and the story continued with Sami Zayn Basically inadvertently kicking Seth Rollins in the face.
That's
So
number 2. The second person that did that to. Maybe this ain't all accidents. Maybe this shit is built up tension. Being stuff in that locker. He finally lashing out.
he's finally becoming Screech and lashing out.
Not Streets. Rest in peace, Streets.
Rest in peace to Dustin. But I was like, you said locker and it reminded me of Screech for some reason. All right. Next up, we have pretty much, I guess we could tackle some things that's going on in AEW a little bit before Saturday Night's Main Event. Like, have you been? How do you feel about the current state of AEW?
So Maximum Carnage last week was actually pretty good. Wednesday show is good. My main thing once again is stop having these niggas run every single time music hit. And y'all be the thing is, Death Riders, they outnumber the people that come out and y'all still running. Like, I don't get that. Like, if it's me and you supposed to be that group of people that run shit, the last thing I'm doing is running. I'm standing on business. Bring your ass inside this ring you want to. You end up just like Hobbs over here. Who else wants some? Who else wants some of Debo? Like, it's big. It's big Debo energy for me. But nah, the current state is pretty well. This past Wednesday, great matches and actually good storytelling. So I don't want y'all to think that I just shit on AEW. No, I shit on everyone equally. Okay, everyone gets a little bit of shit. Okay, everybody catching all sorts of shit. But AEW did a good job with the presentation. They did a great job with the matches. We end up getting the women's casino battle royal winner, and
Which was predictable as hell.
with Toni Storm, which once again I'm loving the fact that she's playing this amnesia character. Like, I don't know what y'all talking about. It's my first time here. Like, I like it. We got a lot of things that came out of AEW this past Wednesday, but I haven't got the chance to check out Collision, but I heard Collision was pretty good.
I peeped it.
Man match.
I peeped it on Sunday. I kind of tuned out after the Texas Death Match. It was Hangman Page versus Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, that was boy.
That was something. Like, I know a lot of people aren't really a fan of the constant bleeding in AEW, but
Help see.
if it works, it works. And it's like Chris Daniels, Hangman Page. Hangman looked like a freaking villain. Like, he looked like he had like his lip was busted and it splattered on his face. Like, you saw little drips on it. That man looked like a freaking horror villain. It was crazy, like the visual. But the reason why I brought this up is because apparently it's reported, according to Sean Ross app of Fightful, this is apparently Christopher Daniels' final match as a full-time in-ring talent.
That's the way to go out. If I'm gonna go out, let me go out this way. I mean, we talking about Christopher Daniels, who's had a 10-year career through ROH, TNA, New Japan. He even did a few episodes of Velocity back in the day on WWE. Like, Christopher Daniels has had a hell of a run. So if I'm gonna go out, let me go out like that.
Sure. I know my fandom with Christopher Daniels has been hot and cold depending on how they book him. Sometimes I enjoy it. Sometimes I'll be like, why is this man on my TV? But I can definitely respect the fact that this man has been a part of wrestling practically all my life. So I remember him in TNA, Triple X. Remember him sliding through him and sliding through what you call Ring of Honor when I kind of fell off, but I always peeped and peeped game with what's going on with Christopher Daniels. Hell, I loved his match with AJ Styles with their feud. It was the last man standing in, I think it was around 2011, 2012. You can never talk about Christopher Daniels' time in TNA without talking about that triple threat with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles at Unbreakable 2005. Like I did a whole retrospective about it. So on YouTube, which you guys can peep if you haven't already. Like it's actually, there's a lot going on. It's a lot of good stuff when it comes to Christopher Daniels. Should he have been world champion in TNA? Of course, a lot of people should have been world champion, but nevertheless, it's just the circumstance. It's just the size of the circumstance. It is what it is. But what is your top moment of Christopher Daniels in throughout? Pretty much, I guess, whenever you watched his time in wrestling.
So definitely his X Division runs. I'm also going to put up there his ROH run with SoCal Val. I mean, not SoCal Val. SoCal Uncensored. That run, him, Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian, that was a dope run. And come on, this man had spin-off variants of himself. Curry Man. He also had Suicide. I mean, come on, man. This is the guy. This guy was your utility tool. He could play all positions. So he's had great runs for sure.
Oh, yeah. So kudos to Christopher Daniels on his career. Wish him well, because I believe, according to also Sean, he will still be on behind the scenes. But as far as like in the ring, it's a wrap. And last thing, speaking of Sean Ross Sapp, did you see that shit on social media that people was talking about all damn day? I told you I was gonna dedicate 30 seconds of this shit.
Nigga, I was there in the room. Nigga, in real life, real time. You know, I was outside, you know, messing around on my phone and everything, and you know, my notification popped up, and some of the people that I messed with was in the room. I'm like, all right, let me just peep what's going on, because I haven't done spaces really like in a long time, like actually being there talking and all that stuff. But man, I seen the headline. I'm like, Eric Gold versus SRS, Sean Ross Sapp. What's going on? Listen, I have never in my life seen someone not know when to just take the L and pack it up. This man was talking in circles. It was like his mind and his mouth was playing Marco Polo. Like I for the life of me, and even Sean said Sean cooked this nigga, but and this is not to be out here, you know, glazing anybody or whatever, but Sean said out of his mouth, which was hilarious to me. His man said, let me pull up the quote real quick. Hold on, let me scroll to it. It's right here. Okay. This man said, I am baffled of how fucking stupid you are. I almost can't believe it. That to me, that took me out, nigga. Like I was sitting there like Mace on It Is What It Is, eating the popcorn and laughing, because for him, if y'all not privy to it, y'all can go back and listen to the whole entire thing. I would say skip to like the last 2 hours, because it got nasty, bro. Like it got nasty. He had everybody inside the space pretty much giving him the business, but he was defending himself, but you know, the points weren't lining up at all. In other news, basically, long story short, if you're gonna post some shit and post it out there as news, cite the source and be credible with your shit, because what this nigga was doing was getting people's paywall content on the house and posting it out there without even checking to see if this was an actual fact or if they was just shooting the breeze.
Yeah, because apparently someone told me that it was reporting about Hangman and Swerve not getting TV time. I'm like, are we watching the same product?
This is what he said. I did all this just to make sure that Hangman and Swerve were getting their TV time because they deserve the TV time. In my mind, I was like, "You fucking nerd!" Like, and it's nothing against nerds. Like, come on, we watch wrestling. We are the
We're
biggest
all
nerds
nerds.
out here. You know, we are like the biggest nerds on earth. But that was big nerd energy. Like that was Stephen Q. Urkel energy without the knowledge. Like I just sitting down there listening to it, bro. Like I'm like, does he realize what the fuck he's saying? Like he literally just said this. But yeah, it was a time. Go back and listen to the clips. It's
One thing I've
hilarious.
noticed is one thing I noticed about these faceless accounts, these niggas always sound like fucking Peter Griffin.
Mm-hmm. Peter Griffin actually, and I'm just sitting there listening. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. Take the L, bro. Just go ahead and say you was wrong. And another thing, don't come for Sean Ross Sapp unless you ain't really, unless your case is strong. Don't come at the old boy because I done seen it not once, not twice, on 3 occasions. This motherfucker is Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen. This motherfucker is cooking people up left and right. Please, whatever you do, leave that motherfucker alone. Leave him alone.
Just leave him alone, man. Like,
leave him alone.
Yeah, we dedicated 30 seconds to that, but that shit was funny. I had to bring that up. And then, yeah, next thing we got is we're going to peep game with Saturday night's main event that is going down this Saturday, actually, in a couple of days, in 4 days. And it's a solid stat card. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like I expected more, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, solid card, definitely. I agree with you with that one. These Saturday night main events, and this is only the second one, so I'm not gonna glaze it or anything, but it's I'm starting to peep these because once again, this is back in the day. I'm old. I'll be 39 this year, but I remember the Saturday night main events at a young age, and this right here, breathing new life into it, and having these matches right before your PLE makes it feels like you're getting a mini PLE in between a PLE. And they're not putting on just bullshit matches. Like they actually putting on some bangers. Like, you know, you got Gunther versus Jey Uso. You also got the Monster versus the Werewolf. Like,
Now that's a match I want to talk about. You got Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu, and that lets you know the aesthetics and the presence that Jacob Fatu brings, because this nigga got me excited about a freaking Braun Strowman match. This is crazy.
Shout out to Braun Strowman, man. This, that's a big dude in real life. Mm-hmm. In real life, that's a big dude. He's the only person that makes me feel like I'm normal, as far as size wise.
Him and Omos.
And Omos, yeah. You know what? I found out me and Omos wear the same size shoes. So Omos, I'm gonna need you to, hit me up with your shoe link, because I've been peeping the hush puppies you've been wearing. But
yeah, Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu is definitely, and I feel, and this is another thing that Triple H is doing. He's like, okay, now that Solo is no longer the tribal chief, I can test the waters with Jacob as a solo act. And I'm telling you this right now, he's gonna blow everybody out the water. If you've never seen this man wrestle in a singles match, like a legit singles match, if they let him and Braun actually cook, it's gonna be y'all gonna trouble.
No, but if y'all haven't seen Jacob Fatu, just go to MLW's YouTube page and just type in Jacob Fatu and just watch this man dominate. This man was MLW champion for like 2 years, almost
3 years.
3 years, MLW champion. I mean, this man was doing Roman Reigns shit before Roman Reigns was doing Roman Reigns shit. Peep that.
Yeah, that's it. Point blank and period. So this is about to be something serious when it comes to Jacob Fatu, 100%. And speaking of peeping game, we also talked about it briefly. We got Braun Breaker defending the Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus. Do you feel like they're gonna pull the trigger on Sheamus here, or is it just gonna be another Braun retain?
It's gonna be another Braun retaining. Y'all need to change that nigga name. Change it to Lil Rick, Lil Rick Steiner or something. There's too many people to name Braun. But no, I think that this is going to be another instance of Sheamus not capturing the title. I think that title may elude him his whole career, but he did sign a 5-year deal, so maybe somewhere within that line he get that title. But I don't think it's coming off of Braun.
Nah,
not now, not that dog.
Yeah, they need to go ahead and hurry up and do what they're gonna do with Braun. Like, he should not be a side character on his own show.
Mm-hmm.
And then another match that I know for a fact is going to be a retention is going to be Rhea Ripley defending the Women's World Championship against Yo Bae, everybody's Bae, Nia Jax.
Yeah, scratch out that everybody part because I kind of fight about mine. You know, I'm 10 toes down about Nia. Okay, have you ever had a walk by you? Her walk by breeze smell like heaven. Okay, that walk by you ever had somebody walk by you and you can smell them?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good smell. But nah, but Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. Say what you want to say about Bae. Every time she steps on a roster, the tension goes up. It's talked about, and you are locked in because you want to see what Nia Jax is going to do. Say what you want to say about Nia Jax in the past. She'd improving y'all way over this past year with her run in inside the department of wrestling as a single star. I don't think Rhea Ripley is going to lose the title, but Rhea Ripley got a habit of getting her ass beat after she win the title. Because let's not forget, Liv Morgan did the same shit to her like a few weeks after her winning at WrestleMania. But this right here, I think it's going to be probably a match that's going to steal the night. To be honest, Rhea Ripley has been on a tear. Nia Jax has been proving herself as a dominant force to be reckoned with inside the ring, not only male or female, just overall. Like she is that. And I'm not hyping her up because that's Bae, but I'm hyping her up because these are all facts, bro. Like you cannot.
If you pay attention, not to cut you off, but if you pay the freak attention, this second run, she's actually motivated. Mm-hmm. We talked about motivation and half-ass, and you can tell she's motivated. You can tell she's actually enjoying herself this run, and she's actually improving. Like yes, she'll have an off night like anybody else, but when this current run, anytime she's stepped up to the plate, she's actually knocked it out of the park. The first time these two clashed at Elimination Chamber last year, I enjoyed the match. It was early in the morning. I was kind of tired, but I still enjoyed the match. Mm-hmm. And when her winning the Queen in the Ring tournament, killed it. Her becoming women's champion, a lot of people dismissed it, and she shut everybody up. She proved everybody wrong. That was one of the best booked title matches under the Triple H era, in my opinion. That title reign under the Triple H era, in my opinion. So I'm gonna definitely always give Nia her flowers when necessary, and this is necessary. Will it be a retention? Of course. Like, I doubt they will have Rhea win the title back just to lose it, but this will definitely be a fun match. Wherever it falls on the card, whether it's the opening or in the middle, it will definitely be a fun match, in my opinion. Saturday night's main event goes down this Saturday, nationwide, NBC, Peacock. We will not be doing a post show over here or on Enemies. We did it for the first episode, and we absolutely hated it.
Hated it.
So yeah, this will definitely be something we talk about through the week, next week, or wherever the case may be. But we'll definitely be keeping our eyes tuned in on this one. And I guess the last thing that we can definitely talk about before we get up out of here, Ilya Dragunov. We didn't even talk about him at all, but apparently this man is on his way back 4 months after the projected 6 months that he was supposed to be out from injury.
Ooh, hyperbolic time chamber.
Nah, this brother ain't normal.
No, he ain't normal at all. He done popped the sensu bean, and now he ready. You know, I can't wait to see what happens with him, because when he was on, he was on. You know what I'm saying? Like I was tuned in, I was locked in into Dragunov as a singles competitor on the main roster. If he does show back up in the Rumble, that arena's gonna pop. Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say about him, but Dragunov has that star power behind him. I feel the same way I feel about Dragunov, the same way I felt about Finn when he went to the main roster. He's small, but he gonna put in that work, and he gonna make you watch. He gonna make you watch.
For sure. So you already know our boy Hang 'em High, V. He already know he's hyped for it. He is popping for it. He is excited for it. And I feel like if they don't put the title on Jey Uso, Ilya should definitely be the guy to take the title off Gunther.
Oh, hands down. The history there. Matter of fact, Ilya was the one that took off the UK championship. Run that shit back.
He's his kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
And I am all for it. But let's look at the comments before we get up out of here. Davion Washington said, I don't want to be that guy, but why is Nia going after Rhea instead of Tiffany? Because she cashed in on her. Good question. Nia just wants to smoke with everybody. That's the best I could come up with. Mm-hmm. Mad Dragon for IC champion. Ilya versus Fatu would move planets. Yes, indeed. It will be David versus Goliath. It will be a Dragon Ball Z fantasy type beat. Like Jacob would literally try to cave this man's chest in, and he was like, "Is that all you got?" So, Davian said, Ilya Dragunov versus Penta would feed the streets. Yes. Imagine Penta going for the sacrifice and he actually pulled it off, and Ilya will be selling that like death. Legitimately. You would think he legitimately broke his arm.
That's what I'm looking for.
But that's all we got for you guys this week. Shout out to all 800 plus of you who peeped us live across all social media platforms. Where can they find you on social media platforms, my brother JT?
Well, very simple, like a pimple. At Marks and Mikes, MarksWithMics. You can follow us everywhere. Twitter, now known as X, IG, the Book of Faces, TikTok, now that motherfucker back up. CapCut, that's back up. Catch us on Blue Sky. I did like my 6 posts on there, so follow us there. YouTube, of course, for the engagement, and on all your favorite podcast streaming apps. Follow us on Good Podcasts. Trying to get that #1 spot here pretty soon. And definitely want to shout out my brothers and my sisters at Culture Clash Network. Make sure y'all follow the Humble Roses on IG, King Dallas Cash, of course, on Twitter. And make sure you are following Society and Pop Culture 101 and get your podcast.
For sure. And you already know where to follow us on social media if you haven't already. At Gresh Unleashed Pod, Gresh Unleashed. Everywhere else that is not YouTube, Gresh Unleashed Pod is on YouTube. We're on the road to, I believe, 500 subscribers. So if you guys want to run that up, it will definitely, or it might be more. I can't really say right now, but yeah, it might be more. But definitely follow that up. If you want to scan that QR code, subscribe to the podcast itself, where you want to get all your podcast. Basically, that is the central hub for all where you can get all of the Gresh Unleashed podcasts. It will take you Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. So basically, we're on the road to 5,000 downloads as well. Like we're running these numbers up, and we appreciate you guys thoroughly for supporting this show, any show that I'm associated with, including the Public Enemies podcast, which you guys can check out this coming Thursday, 7:20 Eastern Standard Time. It will be, I don't know everybody else's time zone, but it definitely 7:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We try our best to be on time. Sometimes we run a little late. Sometimes we run a little early. But nevertheless, we will be there this Thursday. We will basically be counter-programming TNA this coming Thursday. But, hey, if you want to run it up with us, you definitely more than welcome. We will definitely be talking about Saturday night's main event. We'll definitely be talking about Royal Rumble stuff. Anything that happened this week that I didn't mention on here, we will definitely be talking about it over there. That's the beauty behind me being a part of these shows. Some things that I miss on here, you will definitely get my opinion about it over there with the fellas. And if you want to follow me personally, @Gresh on Twitter, now known as X. Ayo is Gresh everywhere else that is not Twitter. And yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the main YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Gresh. That channel will definitely be popping up very, very soon with some new content. I am working on that as well. So much going on in the year 2025 and beyond. But nevertheless, we are locked in. We are tuned in, locked in, and choosing to be great as we always try our best to be. But with that being said, we appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Have yourself a great night, great morning, whenever you listen to this show. But always remember to eat, sleep, flex, and repeat. We out. Y'all be breezy.